Hey guys, welcome back to the Comic Book Lowdown. I'm Wellington. I'm bringing you guys another pull week video. This is for the week of, I think it was June 5th when I got my books. I got, 7 books I'm reviewing, and 5 of them are on the computer. So, sorry that this isn't going to be much of a visual video. But, they all pretty much go in order, from least liked to most liked. Besides the last 2, which I had a lot of trouble with picking what is going to be my pick of the week. Well, anyways, starting with Age of Ultron, Book 9. This was better than the last issue. I still don't find myself really caring anymore about the consequences of what's happening, and this book we're just left off with. There's going to be so much answered in the last issue that Angela has to be introduced and all this other kind of stuff. It seems like they could make this longer, but I really wouldn't want them to, just because it's become less of a crossover, huge crossover event type thing, and more of just a Wolverine book featuring Sue Storm. We do get the appearance of that first Wolverine costume, which is kind of funny to see it in a modern day comic. And yeah, this is really just there for me now. I know like Tim is still really enjoying this. He's all in on it. I've kind of fallen off. But I think there's only like one more issue left, so might as well finish it. But yeah, I'm definitely not very drawn into it as I was before. A lot of characters in this that I wanted to see play out in this book. Characters like Spiderman, the Superior Spider-Man, Moon Knight, Black Widow. All these characters that they laid the foundation for to be really cool. Even Tony Stark and Captain America and all this other kind of stuff. There was a full team that went back into another time with Nick Fury, and we haven't seen them at all ever since that happened. And that was in issue 5 or something. And all we've seen is Wolverine and Sue Storm. So they pretty much went in a pretty bad direction in this, and I'm not with this really much anymore. Honestly, not a book that, if you were planning on getting it in trade, my recommendation is to not. Even though it'll probably be better in trade, but it's just not very interesting. Next up, pretty good book here though, Swamp Thing, issue number 21. Charles Soule, just a mention here. I'm really liking his Swamp Thing, so I'm really glad that he's going to be the new writer to Thunderbolts starting in August, so I might jump onto that title just because I'm talking about the writer here. Thought I'd mention that. And Swamp Thing was pretty cool. God, I would hate to have to draw a Swamp Thing comic. He's got to be such a hard character to draw, honestly. I can't even wrap my brain around doing a Swamp Thing drawing every panel. It would kill me. It'd be so annoying. But but yeah, this issue is pretty good. We get I feel like there's things going on, it's continuing a story, but I just can't remember what has happened in the last issue. So I can't really say much on the issue. I did like the writing and the art in it and everything, and I follow the story from this issue very well, but I'm not really following the whole story, and that's just because I can't actually remember what happened in the last issue. But I definitely like the book. I might stop reading it just because I want to choose between Animal Man and Swamp Thing, and I've been liking Animal Man a bit more. Not to say Swamp Thing is bad, I really like this issue, but like the issues aren't like remaining in my mind as much as like the Animal Man issues are. But definitely, if you're interested in Swamp Thing, be reading it because it is a good book. I do like it, and I enjoy reading it. But like it's hard for me to remember what's happening in it because it doesn't have my full interest. But it is a very good book. Let me try to see the things that happen in here. The art in here is great, like I said before. I definitely like that ancient. There's like an ancient Swamp Thing in here, from like 800 years ago. That Swamp Thing, he like interacts with in the green, and I really like the design on that one. Even though it's just like Swamp Thing, but with like he had like a hood on, and it looked pretty badass. And yeah, so there's this one chick that I can't really pronounce her name, and she's asking Swamp Thing for protection, and there's just a lot of stuff that, I'm following a little bit, but I can't really explain it. But maybe those of you who actually have read the issue or have been following know a lot better than I do on this. I'm just going to leave it at that, really. But next up, Detective Comics issue 21 was pretty good. New story now. It's kind of weird to see a new story in Detective Comics now because I feel like that Emperor Penguin thing has been just like brewing forever. And like now just a new story, it feels different. It feels kind of weird. But even though it's not really said, this is going to be a Ra's al Ghul arc, I can already tell. Because they're dealing with assassins and all this other kind of stuff, and you even see the outlining of him, even though he's like in a shadow, you can kind of tell that it's him. But Jason Fabok's not on art in this issue, but the art by Scott Eaton is pretty similar. So no, there's not a lack of artisticness or whatever in this book. It definitely looks very nice. And the story's pretty cool. They gave us a lot of setup on things from the Zero issue of, I think it was of Detective, going back to like that Bruce Wayne origin thing, when he went to the Himalayas and all that other kind of stuff. They bring us back to that, and then they bring us to Gotham now, and he's kind of fighting with that one chick that she met there. I mean, if you've been following Detective Comics for a while and you've read the Zero issue, you know what I'm talking about. If not, then this is going way over your head. Again, like a lot of these DC books, they kind of rely on consistent readership. Sometimes they don't really allow for new readers to just jump on, and because there's no like previously pages like Marvel has, it's a little harder to jump on, and so it's kind of harder to review these things when they kind of like take things from way back in other issues and then they start doing things with them now. So again, another book that was really good, but I can't really review in depth without it being very confusing. The second story in this is from recent time. It's still dealing with this Man-Bat stuff with the Kurt Langstrom guy. Honestly, I thought he had died, or not died, but he had just become Man-Bat. I didn't know that he turned back. But it's really cool, the story that's happening there. He's kind of changing into, it's almost like the Lizard from Spiderman, where he kind of wants to be the Lizard more than Kurt Connors. Same thing in here, where Kurt Langstrom wants to be the Man-Bat a little more than he wants to be the scientist in him. And you're kind of seeing the bits and pieces of that. And it's all really interesting, and it's a pretty good book, so definitely another good read for my week. And then we start getting into the books that were really, really good. And this is starting with Thanos Rising, issue number 3. I'm so glad I didn't hop off this title after issue 1. Issue 1, like, it had a direction where I was like, kind of not going with it. But then issue 2 brought me right back in. Issue 3 was incredible. And, man, Thanos gets after with all the women. Man, he's just having all kinds of babies, all kind of sex, and all that. He's living it up, pretty much, even though he doesn't really care. He's struggling with himself. He feels like if he just interacts with like women, and he's looking for somehow to give himself some kind of emotion, that some kind of feeling of caring for anything, and it's just not working. And it's really interesting how Jason Aaron like plays all this stuff out throughout the whole book, and he like leaves Titan, and it's just really cool. And you're seeing like Thanos every issue, he's getting bigger, and he's becoming Thanos, a freaking huge purple monster dude. And what happens at the end of this is absolutely crazy. What's going on? Man, it's brutal, and there's 2 more issues of this left, and every issue gets more brutal. So it's just gonna be crazy. Thanos Rising issue number 3 was awesome, but even better in my opinion, and I hate to say this honestly, but Superior Spider-Man issue number 11 was incredible. Doesn't continue with the whole Goblin stuff. If you read issue number 10, we got some sneak peeks of that, but it's continuing with some Spider Slayer stuff. And they do a good job in here, which is what I like about Marvel more than DC, is that they kind of let you in on for new readers. I hadn't been reading at the time that this happened, but apparently the Spider Slayer killed J. Jonah Jameson's wife, and now he's on death row, and he's going to be executed now. And everything in this issue is played out very well, and the art in it is great, even though it's not Stegman, it's Kem Coley. It's definitely it definitely resembles Stegman's art a bit. And just the story that Dan Slott puts together in this, it's just really well done. Doc Ock Spider-Man is just really calculating, and there's some funny bits in here about Doc Ock as a child in his college days, and what he has to go through now being Peter Parker going through college, and just some characters that they have relationship with. All that is really fun, and this book is just very well written. I hate to admit that I'm liking it, because I was so, I'm so adamantly against Doc Ock being Spider-Man, but you got to give it up for good writing when it's there. So Superior Spider-Man issue number 11, definitely a very good read. If you're being stubborn like I've been and don't want to pick it up for that reason, it's coming from me being as stubborn as most people were. Most like Spider-Man fanboys, coming from me, I say jump on it, read it. It's good. Read it with an open mind, and don't be so cynical about it while you're reading it, because if you read it with an open mind, you're gonna enjoy the story. I guarantee it. It's just very well written. And finally, my final 2 books that I had definite problem choosing between which to make my pick of the week or not, and you guys already know because the only 2 books I showed in my Lowdown Looks video. So I'm just going to show it in this order, and this is really no particular order because this is just how I choose it. But Daredevil Dark Knights issue number 1 with an amazing cover, written and art by Lee Weeks, and even the cover is by Lee Weeks, so you get an idea what the art is like. This book was absolutely fantastic. I'm so excited for this second Daredevil series to go on. I think this runs 8 issues, but it's $2.99, so if you didn't get on End of Days because it was 8 issues, $3.99. This is 8 and $2.99, so maybe a little more incentive. And if not that, you don't even have to be versed in the Daredevil universe to get into this story, is the sense that I'm getting. With this first issue, it was just so well written, and the art is so amazing, and the story that they're going with is so good. This is an excellent first issue, gives you a lot of what's going on. Again, the art is fantastic. Oh my gosh, and like just the situation that Matt finds himself in, it's so good. Guys, if you didn't pick it up, if you were waiting for this in trade, I highly recommend that you jump on it in issues. I can't, maybe just because I read the book already, I can't imagine waiting for this to come out in trade. It's that good. It was a great book, and Lee Weeks is doing some great stuff with Matt, and there's always like Bible verses in this, and if you know Daredevil, you know Matt Murdock, he's very Catholic and all this other kind of stuff. So it's definitely a nice touch in the book. It's not overdone, but it's just like almost like Watchmen, how at the end of each chapter they have a quote by like Bob Dylan or somebody like that. It's kind of like this, so like every couple of pages you get like a small verse, and it's really cool how they do that, and just the art and the way it's done, it's fantastic. Pick it up, guys. It's great. And then finally, you guys knew it would be, I guess you could call this my pick of the week, but you guys knew I would love it, and this is the entire Daredevil End of Days series. And the issue I'm particularly talking about is the final issue, issue number 8, with an awesome cover. This wraps up the story very nicely. I read the whole thing together before I read issue 8, so I was definitely surprised with issue 8 after reading issue 1 through 7. This wrapped up a lot of things very nicely, but what I like that Bendis does is that there's some questions that you still have at the end of this. There's some questions that he leaves open, and it's not because he didn't have time to wrap them up or just an idea to wrap them up, but the way the story moves along is that it would be improbable, almost impossible for the information to have gotten out there the way that this story, unfolds. So I don't want to spoil anything. I'm going to be doing a full review on the whole thing together. But issue 8 definitely does not disappoint. It's very well written. The art in it by Klaus Janson is fantastic. The cover is great. The story was great. The idea was great. Everything about this was great. The characters were great. It's a freaking great book. And hopefully the trade comes out soon enough so you guys can pick it up. Pick it up twice if you need to. It's that good. Man, I mean, it's kind of a lengthy read because it's Bendis, and so there's a lot of words in it. And definitely because it's following Ben Urich. Of course, Ben Urich being a reporter, there's going to be words on top of words on top of words in this. But the art by Klaus Janson is just so, all-encompassing. Even though it's kind of gritty, there's a lot of lines in it. It fits the story perfectly, and there's just these double-page spreads, 2-page spreads of art and just of New York, the way that you would picture New York if superheroes were real, and it's just absolutely fantastic. The whole story is great. Had me guessing with every single issue, which is what I love a story to do. And Bendis did a great job in this. Some of Bendis's finer works of recent day, I believe. He's got a great voice for the Daredevil universe and all that kind of good stuff. And can't wait till the rest of you guys pick it up and trade and read it, because I know everybody's gonna be talking about it. But anyways, that's all the books I have. Kind of a lengthy review, but 7 books. Gotta talk about them. got nothing really left to say. Remember, guys, I will be putting up a full review. I don't know if spoilers or not yet of End of Days. Maybe tomorrow it will be out. So if you guys want to check that out, I'll try to do no spoilers. So you know you guys don't. So you guys want to watch it. But anyways, that's it for me, guys. I'm Wellington, signing off for the Comic Book Lowdown. See you guys next time.